Wow. It's really impressive. Obviously, you've had just an extraordinary career, and your work in so many ways speaks for itself. We're thrilled to have you here today. We need
Thank
to talk about this difficult topic, though, related to your new film.
you.
And I suppose we can find the silver lining in this, but tell us about Open Secret, your new project.
Yes, I get very passionate about this, so I will apologize ahead of time. Feel free to dial me back. I feel very fated to have told this story because I was living in Los Angeles and I did never intended to leave Los Angeles, but the next thing I know, I'm just driving across country with a friend and I moved to North Carolina. I had been here well, I'd settled here for 3 days. I was renting before I bought a place, and this project was shared with me. And at first I thought, I came here for a break. I don't think this is a project I want to take on. I knew it was going to be deep, and I'd just come from a couple of dark projects. And so what I did was make the commitment to the woman who was sharing the story with me that I would go to Wilmington and meet these two protagonists, one of whom was a good friend of hers, to hear more from their perspective what this story was about. So I could drive to Wilmington, which is a beautiful beach city. And I met two extraordinary gentlemen, the Reverend Dante Murphy and Professor Clyde Edgerton. And they told me that this story started out that there had been widespread systemic discrimination in the school district that they had been exploring, but that upon further exploration, what they found out was there had been child sexual abuse going on in the schools for decades. And the kicker was everyone knew about it. And that's how it's got its name, Open Secret. It was not like the brilliant journalists that are in Wilmington doing phenomenal work there. I include them in my film because it's not like I broke this story. They were breaking it, but no one was being held accountable. And the reason that I got so excited about meeting them at that time was because despite decades of corruption that had allowed for the child sexual predators to permeate the district, this small group of people decided to unite and challenge this corruption, which was so brave. And so it became a story about courage. It was a David and Goliath story about uniting, challenging it, and then watching their success and filming their success. Now, it's easy for me to say I filmed their success. This has been a 4.5-year project that I've been on. I've never been on a project this long before. So within that success, there have been some massive mountains that they had to overcome and some very deep, dark valleys, excuse me. So the film really is about the courage to challenge something in your community that isn't working, despite this being detrimental potentially to your own self. And that's what inspired me. So you had mentioned it was a troubling subject matter, and it is. But if all anyone took away from this conversation was the following statement, I will have done my work here. Predators rely on us to look away. And that just landed for me. Like, I will not enable a predator. So what I want people to understand is that sometimes they say, well, if you do nothing, you're not really taking a side. You are taking a side. You're taking the predator's side.
Really, a profoundly difficult thing to talk about, but I think you have found that silver lining, right? You found the courage,
Yes,
right, to highlight the strength of a couple of people to work on exposing this problem and bring it to an end. That is inspiring, despite the fact that the problem they're exposing is heartbreaking. So
it is. I want to say something that just came to mind. So Professor Clyde Edgerton is he's retired now, but when we first met him, he was at the UNCW teaching English, and he's also a novelist. He's very well known in the area. He's a wonderful musician and artist. He took this on his own, and it damaged his social standing. It was such a challenging thing that the moment in the film where he says, I by myself failed, which is not a word that comes easy to him because this is a very accomplished man. He was introduced to the Reverend Dante Murphy, and the first thing the Reverend said to him was, nothing gets accomplished by I. If you're not a we, you know, which so in many ways he was the nucleus for this group to band together and say, yeah, we may be small, but we're mighty, and we have strong values on our side. They all have a very strong moral compass. And at the end of the day, this was about child safety. Nothing else mattered. And so that we the people coming together again landed so strongly for me. And their courage needs to be witnessed. And I cannot wait to share what we have revealed, because it has been a very long journey, but it will be very worthwhile.
Yeah, this really is inspiring. I want to, you know, just it's a rare opportunity in some ways for folks to have an opportunity to invest in a film project with someone of such great caliber, such great experience. Why did you want to raise money from the crowd instead of your customary phalanx of wealthy Hollywood investors?
I love this question, Devin. That's a brilliant, thank you for asking me that. Because there is a misconception, though there could be a misconception, that this is a North Carolinian problem. It is a problem that happened in North Carolina, and it's also happening across the nation. So to get the community behind this and to have them say, we are going to take this and we're going to make something of it. We're going to clear our decks. They haven't had a predator come step forward since they got rid of the last person that was forced to resign under this situation, and say, you know, this is ours. We're cleaning it up. This is not a North Carolina problem. I thought that was really important to lead with, because the film, when it's finished, is going to go across the country, and it's going to be a conversation starter to a movement. And the movement is to end abuse in all schools. Right now, it was extreme, and it'll be a cautionary tale, and it will prevent children being traumatized moving forward.
And allowing people everywhere to invest in this film is a way of helping to maximize your audience, maximize the impact, maximize the reach.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, listen, everyone, I'm here today with Kerry David. She is a phenomenal filmmaker. She's working on a new project we've been talking about, and it's available to invest in on WeFunder. We're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we're going to talk to her about her superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this.